Hostile takeovers, nepotistic promotions, and technological advancements, Laika has had a rocky beginning but has managed to impress audiences and critics alike. How have they developed their style? Why is the owner of Nike, Phil Knight, majority stakeholder? And how do they stay afloat despite not turning a profit at the box office? Laika Studios is an animation house that specializes in stop-motion animation, an incredibly lengthy and painstaking process that involves creating puppets and moving them one frame at a time. The official founding of Laika was July 20th, 2005. According to all official sources, that was the inception of the studio, but there's a lesser-known history that the studio doesn't acknowledge. Vinton Studios was founded in 1975. Will Vinton, a graduate of UC Berkeley, collaborated with claymation artist, musician, and comedian Bob Gardner for the 8-minute short film Closed Mondays. They met in Berkeley and quickly moved to Portland, where they used Vinton's basement as their studio. They did a camera test called Wobbly Wino and proceeded to refine their processes to begin their 14-month-long production on the 8-minute short film Closed Mondays. The duo's work was awarded with the Oscar for Best Animated Short Film. The duo began work on their second short film, Mountain Music, when Gardner departed to work on political PSAs for local issues and later music and holographic work. William Vinton established William Vinton Studios shortly after the Oscar win, hiring animators to produce commercials and capitalize off of the new technology. He continued producing films on 16mm, the format he used in Closed Mondays and Mountain Music. The studio produced various fairy tale inspired shorts as well as a behind-the-scenes documentary on the process behind their clay animation. They graduated to the industry standard of 35mm film and made numerous shorts, music videos, and title sequences. They worked on animated segments in Disney's Return to Oz, which was nominated for Best Special Effects by the Academy. Around this time, they also released The Adventures of Mark Twain, their first and only feature film that unfortunately bombed at the box office. It was no matter though, because Disney loved their work on Oz and hired them to do animation effects in Michael Jackson's Epcot attraction, Captain EO. Their collaborations with Jackson didn't stop there, with them doing work on Jackson's Speed Demon music video. By this time, they've done hundreds of commercials, with their most successful campaign being with the California Raisins. The commercial was so successful, in fact, it spawned 2 CBS specials and a Cell animated television show. CBS commissioned several specials as a result. Will Vinton's Claymation Christmas Special and Claymation Comedy of Horrors, with the former being nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program. By the 1990s, the studio grew to employ over 400 animators and technicians, with their output including CGI work as well. They produced a short film named Fluffy under that format, as well as using CG in some M&M commercials. In the late 90s, the studio was approached to help produce the animated series The PJs, created by Eddie Murphy. They refined the style of stop motion, switching from clay to foam and coining the term filmation. They utilized it in The PJs as well as a show for UPN called Gary and Mike. In 2001, both of these shows were cancelled, and in 2002, Vinton lost control of the studio after the owner of Nike, Phil Knight, became the majority shareholder. Phil became a shareholder in 1998 and convinced the studio to hire his rapper son Travis as an intern. During this time, Travis worked as an animator on both The PJs and Gary and Mike. After the buyout by Phil, Travis was promoted to the board of directors. He became president of animation in 2005, when Laika was officially rebranded. Vinton was dismissed from his position in 2002 and subsequently sued Phil and 4 other members of the company's board of directors, alleging that Phil orchestrated a hostile takeover to hand the company to his son Travis. The lawsuit, which sought $3.2 million in damages for an unfair dismissal, was ultimately settled behind the scenes, with Will signing over his trademark to the term claymation. So now that Phil Knight is in control of the studio and the legal issues have been settled, Henry Selick joins the company as supervising director. Selick, the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, was at a crossroads in his career. His last 2 movies, James and the Giant Peach and his only live-action film Monkey Bone, had been box office bombs. He was well respected, especially in the stop-motion world, so it only made sense that he would wind up at Laika. He directed a CGI short for them called Moon Girl and soon began production on the studio's first feature film since the studio's rebrand, Coraline. Henry Selick met Neil Gaiman, who wrote the novella the film is based on, while Gaiman was getting ready to publish the book, and being a fan of Selick's work, asked him to make an adaptation. Henry agreed and fleshed out the character of Wildwood to make the film longer, as the book was only 162 pages. He also invited Tadahiro Usugi, a Japanese surrealist artist, to be the concept artist. Coraline was also the first stop-motion film shot in stereoscopic 3D, with it being cited as one of the best uses of depth in a 3D movie. The film didn't overperform at the box office, but it was a critical and cultural hit, with it making $19 million in its first week in DVD sales and earning a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was re-released in theaters in 2023, making $7 million, then again in August of 2024, where it earned $52 million worldwide, breaking records for a Fathom re-release. There's also an abundance of Coraline merchandise at almost every pop culture store, which has undoubtedly done well for the company. Laika had also planned for a CG film to be produced, but the film was cancelled and a large portion of its staff was laid off. In 2009, shortly after Coraline was released, Henry Selick left the studio after being unsuccessful in renegotiating his contract. The studio followed with a film from Chris Butler, a storyboard artist, and Sam Fell, director of Flushed Away. Paranorman, which follows a young boy who speaks to the dead in the cursed town of Blythe Hollow, Massachusetts, was the first film Laika employed the use of color 3D printers for the animation. The process was introduced with Coraline, but was limited to black and white, and now could be used for everything they could think of. The idea for the story was from Chris Butler, who wanted to use the inherent social commentary found in zombie flicks, and aim it at kids to help them understand the challenges they face growing up. The film was also re-released by Fathom, where it made around $167,000. There was also a nice funny short produced in CG to air along the re-release. Laika had continued the Vinton tradition of stop-motion commercials, using commercials for M&M and Apple. In 2014, they spun off their commercial production into another independent company called House Special. Shortly after, their third film, The Boxtrolls, was released. Based off of Here Be Monsters by Alan Snow, the film follows a boy raised by trash-collecting trolls who is attempting to save them from a pest exterminator. The movie was originally supposed to follow many species of monsters, but Travis Knight butted in to make them change the concept to focus only on the Boxtroll species of monster. The film did okay, earning $108 million but gaining absolutely no cult status. This is the case for the next few films, as Travis began to have more of a hand in the creative process of the productions. The fourth film, Kubo and the Two Strings, is based off of an idea by Laika production designer Shannon Tittle. Chris Butler and Mark Haynes penned the script and Fail's son Travis directed it. Kubo follows a young boy with a magical guitar, as he goes on a quest to defeat his evil aunts. It's based off the epic fantasy genre and made $78 million in its box office run. Their next and latest film before Wildwood is released was Missing Link, written again by Chris Butler, with him writing on every single Laika film after Coraline. He is undoubtedly one of the creative heavyweights at the company. Butler directed this film as well as Paranorman. It follows an explorer looking for a Sasquatch and a Sasquatch looking for his family. The film is the most expensive stop-motion movie ever, with a budget of $100 million. It only made $26 million, but was liked by critics and won a Globe for Best Animated Movie. In September of 2021, they announced their next film, Wildwood, based off the novel by Colin Malloy. This film is also going to be directed by Travis Knight, who has also directed Bumblebee and the upcoming He-Man movie. Laika also made a deal with Shout Studios, who release incredible physical releases for all of their films, including 4K editions and steelbooks. In 2024, the studio opened an exhibit at BFI South Bank, showcasing screen use, props, and puppets, as well as detailing the process behind making of them. After Wildwood, the studio plans on making a film called The Night Gardener, based on a story by Bill Dubuque, who created Ozark. They also acquired the rights to Piranesi, which will be about a house comprised of countless rooms and statues, none of which are alike. Both of those films will also be directed by Travis Knight.